Okay, what we're demonstrating here is the limitations of the induction motor in terms of the pressure, the maximum pressure that it can build with our pump. An induction motor does not have the torque of a permanent magnet DC motor, and as such, this particular motor that we're looking at, which is the SureFlow motor mounted onto the pump 8090 or 8900 8900 995 260. Okay, this is the 0.9 amp rated single phase 50 cycle 230 volt AC 90 watt motor with our G117641 pump. As with the SureFlow pump, these two pumps would be the highest possible to be put onto this motor without driving the motor into a stall. And we're going to demonstrate in this video the stalling of the motor. The stalling occurs because at some pressure this motor is just unable to have the torque to keep the motor running. And we're going to start off the test by showing you the maximum pressure that we've achieved with this motor, which is number 6 nozzle, about 70 psi. That's right around where the SureFlow is. And if we try to increase the pressure, you will notice the motor basically stalling to a stop. So we're going to demonstrate that now. We have 230 volt input power. We're drawing about at the maximum bypass pressure of 100 psi. And we have a maximum bypass pressure of 100 psi because we want to keep 30 psi differential between the operating and the max bypass, so that the bypass does not interfere and you don't lose flow. So we in order to run this pump head and be equivalent to SureFlow, we have to run it at a max bypass of 100. Now, what we're going to attempt to do to go higher than 70 psi at the actual operating point with a number 6 nozzle, we're going to try to increase the bypass pressure a little bit more, and you will see how the motor stalls. Okay, we tried to increase the bypass. We reached about 120, 130, and at that point the motor just stalled. It's running. We're actually drawing 1.57, but unfortunately the motor right now is in a stalled position. It's still running, it's getting hot, and eventually this motor will fail. It'll fail from overheating. So in a real life condition, we don't want this to happen. We need to limit for this motor, we have to limit the max bypass pressure at 110 or so, and that way it'll give you the same performance as SureFlow, a little bit higher. I'll send some graphs right now. Otherwise, we're going to need to, in our calculations, we're going to need maybe twice the wattage motor, but even then, the limitation here is the ability of the motor to build the torque necessary. Another good demonstration is if somebody pulls the trigger of the wand and activates it, the motor will likely not even start if it's taken higher pressure than it is now. So this hopefully demonstrates the stalling of an induction motor, which again doesn't have the torque of a permanent magnet DC motor.